Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Hello students, in this lecture we will be discussing the important questions for the first topic of this chapter, that basically the introduction. So the first question is, how are we able to see things? This is a very basic question. This is not going to come into your exams. We are just discussing. So there are two things that you require. First one is the sense of sight, basically your eyes, and second is light that falls into your eyes, which makes things visible. Second question is, can we see any objects in the dark? No, we cannot see any objects in the dark. We still need some light to look at the objects, right? So we cannot see any objects in the dark. These were the questions from the first topic. In this lecture, we will be discussing the important questions from the second topic of this chapter. So the first question is, fill in the blanks. First is, the ray that falls on the surface of a mirror from the object is called. The ray that falls on the mirror is incident ray. Second question, angle of incident is always dash to the angle of reflection. Here you write equal. This is one of the laws of reflection, that angle of incidence is always equal to the angle of reflection. The perpendicular drawn at the point of incidence is known as the normal. It is drawn perpendicular to the surface on which the light ray is falling, right? The angle formed by the incident ray with the normal is known as the angle of incidence, right? These were the fill in the blanks. Now the second question, what are the laws of reflection? This is a very important 3-mark question. First is that the angle of incidence is always equal to the angle of reflection. The angle of incidence is always equal to the angle of reflection. Second is that the incident ray, the reflected ray, and the normal all lie in the same plane. They all lie in the same plane, basically. So these are the two laws of reflection. The third question is, what are incident ray and reflected ray? Show with the help of a diagram. So you can draw or you can look at the lecture as well. So what happens is, light ray falls on the mirror. This here is an object, right? You can say you are the object. The light ray falling on the mirror is the incident ray. The light ray coming after reflection is reflected ray. This is normal. This is the angle of incidence and this is the angle of reflection, and angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection. Now what do you understand by the term lateral inversion? Now students, here you have to provide a definition. This is the definition. In an image formed by a mirror, the left of the object appears on the right and the right appears on the left. This is known as lateral inversion. This is a simple 1-mark question where you have to give the definition. If you have been told to draw a diagram as well, this is the diagram of lateral inversion, then this question becomes 3-mark question. So you have to draw the diagram as well as explain it, that what is lateral inversion. So these were the important questions for the second topic. In this lecture, we will be discussing the important questions from the third topic of this chapter. So let us start. The first question is, what is diffused or irregular reflection? Why does it happen? Students, this can easily come as a 3-mark question because you will also be drawing a diagram in this. Alright, so let us start with the help of a diagram only. This is the diagram, right? This picture, the picture number 2, Question number 1 is of regular reflection. This is for irregular reflection. As you can see, the rays coming on the surface are all parallel, but the rays which are reflected are not parallel and they are all in random directions. So students, when all the parallel rays reflected from a rough or irregular surface are not parallel, the reflection is known as diffused or irregular reflection. Now the diffused reflection is not due to the failure of laws of reflection. It is caused by the irregularities in the reflecting surface like that of a cardboard. It is not a failure of the laws of reflection. Second is, what is regular reflection? Explain with the help of a diagram. So here is the diagram that you draw for regular reflection. Alright. Now the reflection from a smooth surface like that of a mirror is called regular reflection. Images are formed due to regular reflection only. Right. Third question. Irregular reflection is a failure of laws of reflection. State whether the statement is true or false. This statement is false. Because it is not a failure of laws of reflection. It is due to the irregular surface like that of a cardboard. Alright. Fourth question. What are luminous and illuminated objects? Give examples. So here are the objects. The objects which shine in the light of other objects are called illuminated objects. For example, moon receives light from the sun and reflects it. That's how we see moon. This is illuminated object. Second, there are other objects which give their own light, such as the sun, fire, flame of a candle and an electric lamp. Their light falls on our eyes. This is how we see them. The objects which emit their own light are known as luminous objects. Alright, so these were the important questions for the third topic. In this lecture, we will be discussing the important questions for the fourth topic of this chapter. So the first question is, can reflected light be reflected again? Yes, reflected light can be reflected again. Next question, explain with the help of an example that light reflected can be reflected back. You have to give an example. So here the example can be taken from a barber shop, right? The example that I explained in the lecture itself, you can explain that similar example, or you can use any other example where you see fit that reflected light is being reflected again. So right, this is the second question and this is a 3-mark question, but this is very less likely to come, right? But still you must know. Third question, state an application of reflection of light, reflected light. The application is periscope. This is a periscope. So here are two mirrors. One has been fixed here and one has been fixed here. Right? So light enters through this point, strikes on the mirror, gets reflected to the second mirror, then again gets reflected outside. So if there is an object present here, you will be able to look at it from here. So this is the application. And where is it used? The periscope makes use of two plane mirrors. Periscopes are used in submarines, tanks and also by soldiers in bunkers to see things outside. So this is the application and these were the important questions from the fourth topic.